Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, talking about all the markets that are out there, trading and investing, making smart investing decisions within stocks, options, futures, and then coming up next, Forex. If you happen to miss getting into this workshop that we're doing here in Bloomington on the 13th and the 16th, call 952-814-4410. You're going to get hands-on experience with the markets, whether it's stock options, futures, Forex, but also learning more about our proprietary strategy, our step-by-step strategy, but also some of the common mistakes that novice investors make and how to potentially minimize them. Al, as we got into the the futures market, there's another market out there that allows phenomenal leverage, which is open 24 hours a day. Now think about this. A lot of our listeners are probably, work during the day, have daytime hours, and have a tough time being able to get into the stock market. We've been talking about that a lot, but have a tough time getting into that market because it's just not open at the prime time hours that are available. So they need an evening market that's open. Forex is the largest market out there. It's the currency market.
Right.
It's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So basically open Sunday night at 5 o'clock our time. It closes on Friday at 4 o'clock our time. Mm-hmm. And these markets give opportunities for investors to use a smaller amount of capital based off of the leverage. That's what they allow. The brokers allow basically buying power to make it more efficient to utilize the capital that you do have. So I just want to kind of pull up I'm going to talk about a chart here on the Great Britain pound U.S. dollar. So basically how these trade is one currency against another, the pound versus the dollar. What do you see, and how did this comparison? Because the dollar runs everything, right?
It does.
Talk a little bit about the comparison with the dollar and really any currency pair, but we'll talk about the pound. I'll give you my opinion as well.
Okay. I'll look forward to getting your opinion. But yeah, and remember, even though we're talking about two different things, or we're talking about two different currencies, it trades as one thing. It's a combination. So there are just a limited number of those combinations. So it's not like you have to know everything about every currency that is out there. And there's some that are kind of primary ones that are used. That you mentioned the leverage. It has about a 50-to-1 leverage, which is fantastic. Trades 24 hours a day, and it is the largest market in the world. Trades over $5 trillion a day. So there's a lot of liquidity there. You don't have to worry about finding someone that would be willing to buy something from you if you are ready to sell, or sell to you if you're getting ready to buy. But what we're looking at is the difference in currency rates, as Josh mentioned. We're looking at one that's going to go up compared to one that is going to go down in value. There's always something happening globally in these countries that impacts currencies. So it gives us a great opportunity to use those combinations, use this market, both for kind of what we would call a swing trade, which is maybe a week or so, something longer than a day trade, but also for long-term growth, because some of these trends last for a long time. So a lot of people can use the Forex market trades in their retirement accounts or to build their wealth for their retirement.
Yep. Yeah, especially like with understanding the U.S. dollar. Now, what do you think the comparison is here? The U.S. dollar and stocks. If the dollar is getting strong,
right,
which it has been, I can pull up the dollar here real quick. With the dollar roughly right around at about 94-ish, $94 per, we'll call it, share right now, just to make it easy for our listeners. Mm-hmm. Now, that's been going up pretty strong since September, the beginning of September, which was at 92 then. Do you think this is impacting some of the drops in the stock market?
Yeah, one of the things that happens when the value of the dollar increases like that, it makes our exports more expensive. So as far as our ability to to generate more profits from international or global sales, that's going to be impacted by that. So and everybody is impacted by it. Even if you don't know anything about the Forex market, if you have a savings account or checking account, the dollar impacts the value of that. The dollar impacts the value of what you can buy. And if you go back into the early 1900s, since then the buying power of the dollar has gone down over 90%.
That's crazy.
That's significant.
I think that's why cryptocurrencies are so powerful right now.
Right.
You have a dollar that continues to devalue. You can buy less with it, but you have this crazy thing called cryptocurrency that everybody everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody. Most people probably know about it, but have no knowledge of what it is.
Yeah, but they're going to have to.
Yeah, we talk about that. I mean, we actually have curriculum on what the blockchain technology is,
Right.
what cryptocurrency actually is, but that just helps investors get into these markets, but also get in the markets and know what to do, how to make smarter investing decisions. So I want to invite people to a workshop that we do here in Bloomington. We have a couple coming up. Al's teaching these, and these are hands-on workshops to kind of see how our proprietary platform Click works, how our strategy works, how to, how investors can potentially make smarter investing decisions. Call 952-814-4410 or text the word invest to the number 484848. Al, I got another question for you about just what's happening with this market. We've seen great volatility. Markets dropped. I think the S&Ps were down, 5 or so, maybe 6% at one point.
Correct, they were.
And it's rattled a lot of investors. So I think a lot of people are a little bit scared of what to do with 401ks, IRAs, just retirement accounts in general. Talk a little bit about protecting portfolios before we end the show here today.
Yeah, well, let me talk about that. Is the number one most important thing for you to do. Remember this: the market does not allow risk-free investment. There's no such thing as a risk-free investment. So the important thing for you is to understand how to control it. How do you manage risk? How do you protect what you have? Especially if you're getting close to retirement or you're in retirement. Is there a way of doing that? I mean, you have insurance on your house. You have insurance on your car. You probably don't have insurance on your retirement account or your investment portfolio, but you can. The options can be used as basically the same thing as an insurance policy. That's one way of protecting what you have. Using stop losses is another way. And I know I can almost guarantee you there are a few people out there that are going, I tried stop losses. I get stopped out too often, so I'm not going to use them. The reason you got stopped out is you didn't identify the right price to get into it in the first place. You didn't identify where the Wall Street money was, where their buy orders were, where their sell orders were. That's a big component of your being successful, is being able to have a precise entry point and a precise exit point so you can better protect what you have. Share size. There's a number of things that get down to protecting what you have. We talk about the leveraged assets, futures, Forex, options, anywhere from 10 to 1 to over 100 to 1 leverage. Well, obviously, if something can go in your favor, it can go against you. Yeah. So how do you participate in something that has 100 to 1 or 50 to 1 leverage? And if you're wrong, what do you do? Well, the number one thing that Click asks you to do, that's our proprietary trading platform. It's customized to each person. But the number one thing it asks is, what is the maximum amount of money you're willing to risk on any trade? Maybe for you it's $50, or maybe it's $100, maybe it's $1,000. Depends on how much money you have. It depends on how sophisticated and how much confidence you have in your trades. But this allows you to still participate in an investment that is much larger with that protection. And if you violate that, or you try to violate that by putting a trade together that violates your risk level, Click comes up with an alert and says, hey, don't do this. This violates your risk level, or this is too many shares for you to trade. Whatever the information is, it's going to tell you not to do it. It's the only platform out there that will tell you not to do something.
But better yet, it'll walk you through in how to make educated decisions too.
Exactly. And what we want to do, and what you should want to do, is identify with any potential trade or investment you're making, one that gives you the highest profit potential with the highest probability of working in your favor with the lowest risk. That's what Click will help guide you to the point where you are going to identify this, yeah, that is a quality trade, or no, it's not, and then stay out of it. Being successful doesn't mean you have to do trade after trade after trade. It's not the person that does the most number of trades that is successful. It's the person that does the quality trades. It's patience. There may be some days where you don't do anything. But if you're just over trading, you're just actually paying a broker or a brokerage firm, you're not really concentrating on what's best for your wallet.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought a lot of those concepts up, because the markets are pretty volatile right now. I don't think a lot of people understand where we're at in these markets. The debt ceiling, I've been talking about a lot about that in the last week or so. I think they made a decision here this week, or at least close to that. Right. But a lot of people come to these workshops with a little bit of baggage, right? And people think they know what's happening in the market, but they just don't. It's not their fault. They just haven't been educated properly. And there's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Not Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon Hill.
Big difference there.
And it really helps people understand what you really need. I encourage people to read that book if they haven't, to understand what they need to be successful in the markets. But it's a lot about what you actually think.
It is absolutely about what you think.
Yep. So understanding how to make proper investing decisions is not what you think, it's what works and what the strategy and how you follow your strategy actually is. And Al, you have these workshops here in Bloomington. I want to give away one last set of passes for here Wednesday the 13th and Saturday the 16th, 952-814-4410, or text the word invest to the number 484848. Al, we've talked about a lot of stocks here today, different things. Let's hear the OTA tip of the week.
Well, I talked earlier about the probable big up and down moves that we can look forward to for the foreseeable future. Look, these are market opportunities that create the potential for portfolios to grow faster and for access to fantastic short-term income strategies. So for anybody out there that's looking at making a change to their financial life now and into the future, this might be your best chance. Remember, you don't decide your future. You decide what you do today, and that decides your future.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about having the potential to do a lot of the stuff that Al's talking about here today. Have the potential, but it takes a little bit of action to do different things. 952-814-4410 for this workshop here, the 13th and 16th. Text the word invest to the number 484848. As always, same time, same place. Until then, retire young, my friends.